Okay, let's gather our supplies. Now this mini bag, this mini album made from paper bags, obviously we're going to need some paper bags, and they're going to be really the base of the album itself. Now for this project, I'm going to give you measurements for paper bags that I picked up at Michael's. They are the Celebrated brand. They happen to be 5.8 inches by 3.5 inches by 11.1 inches. And these come in a variety of colors. I know they come in black, white, and craft. You may be able to get them in other colors as well. But I chose these because if you're in the US, these are very, they're easily obtainable at Michael's, and they should all be the same size. They do have other sizes of these bags, but you should be able to find these, and I've done all the measurements based on these bags themselves. You'll need some pattern paper and some solid paper. Now I really designed this project to use 6x6 pattern paper, and if you have, a bunch of 6x6 paper packs, this would be a great project to use. You'll need 39 of them if you're going to use the 6x6s, but I was thinking you could also certainly use a 12x12 paper pad and simply, cut them into 6x6 squares. So this is the one I'm going to use for this project. It's called the Hello Darling Stack by DCWV, and you'll need 10 sheets of pattern paper that you will cut into 6x6 squares. You'll also need some 8.5 by 11 solid color paper. You will need 8 sheets of one color that's going to match your bag. So if you're using white bags, you can use white paper. If you're using the craft bags, you can use craft paper. And then you will also need 3 additional 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper of coordinated colors, and we're going to use, for whatever paper pattern paper you're using, just some coordinating colors. So for my Christmas one, I used red and green for those, but you can choose any colors that you want to. We'll also be using a corner punch, a border punch, a bone folder, of course, a scalpel's handle or an Exacto Blade. I'm going to use wet glue, and I'm going to use the Art Glitter Dries Clear adhesive. You could, for some of these, also use an ATG gun or just roll-on if you prefer to do that. I like wet glue because I think it provides a lot of strength and holds the album together really well. So I'm going to be using that. For the closure, we'll be doing, just like I had before, a little rope. So I have some twine, and then I put some beads on the end here. You could obviously just use twine or any kind of string that you have. We'll also use some brads to do the closure. So I have a couple of brads. And then something that's that you can use to, we'll be bending some of the pattern paper that's really stiff. So something that you can use to bend it around. This is a wooden knitting needle. Anything round will do if you have a paintbrush or a marker of some sort. But and I just wanted to show you, if you use the paper that I've suggested today, you will have some scraps left over. Now, I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like. There's actually not a whole lot of the pattern paper scraps. We're going to be doing some cutting, but you really have very little of the pattern paper left over. You use the most of it. Now for the solid paper, you will have some pieces left over, but several of them are very large pieces that you could certainly reuse for other projects. But I wanted to give you a sense of how much paper you'll have left over if you use the measurements I am and the paper I'm calling for. Okay, so that's it for our materials. Let's get started with prepping things.